Imagine a wide, vast open stretch of land stretching out to as far as the eye can see and beyond the horizon too. Deserts are a defining geographical phenomenon on Earth, and utterly gorgeous ones at that. Whether it's the sandy deserts of Africa, the barren ones of Central Asia, or the cold deserts of South America, they never cease to fascinate. Some of the biggest deserts in the world, notwithstanding their nature, are spread across all continents of the world. But the size and the nature of these deserts vary greatly. With such great diversity, it's only natural to wonder which are the largest. To that end, here's in this video I am going to present 8 of the biggest deserts in the world. Number 8. Great Basin Desert. Measuring 190,000 square miles, the Great Basin Desert lies in the central west USA in the states of Nevada and Utah. Sprawled between the Wasatch and Sierra Nevada mountains, this desert is famed for being home to the Great Basin National Park. Besides spanning multiple states, the Great Basin is also one of the Big Four deserts in North America, the other 3 being Sonoran, Chihuahuan, and the Mojave Deserts. In fact, the Mojave Desert sits on its northern borders. This desert is a dry expanse of sand, silt, and clay but is semi-arid, so it receives a lot of snow during winter. One unique travel tidbit is that a local bristlecone pine tree in the desert is almost 4,950 years old and is said to be the oldest living thing in the world. It lies in the ancient bristlecone pine forest, which itself is part of Inyo Forest, one of the 8 most unique forests around the world. Number 7. Kalahari Desert. Measuring almost 350,000 square miles, the Kalahari Desert is one of the biggest deserts in the world. In fact, it's also one of the best luxury escapes for an adventure getaway. The subtropical desert spans multiple countries in southern Africa, including South Africa, Botswana, and Namibia. The semi-desert might look like it doesn't receive much rainfall, but it does receive decent rainfall, thus resulting in lush vegetation. What's more, the desert is famous for its flora and fauna, such as wildebeest, kudu, hyena, and meerkat, which call this region home. An interesting tidbit is that this desert gets its name from the Swana word, Kilagala, which means the great thirst. In simple terms, the name reflects the natural aspect of the region. Number 6. Australian Desert. Measuring just over 1 million square miles in area is the Australian Desert, which encompasses within its boundaries the famous Great Victoria Desert. The Australian Desert is one of the harshest environments on Earth, with grassland, hard-packed earth, rocks, and sand. During summers, it's particularly harsh as temperatures tend to rise up to as much as 40 degrees Celsius. Just like other subtropical deserts, it's cooler during the winter but still fairly hot and utterly dry. It contains 2 of the most famous parks in Australia, the Uluru Kata Tutor National Park and the Rudall River National Park. In fact, the Uluru Kata Park is home to the Uluru Ayers Rock, one of the world's most breathtaking monoliths. Number 5. Gobi Desert. Measuring around 500,000 square miles, the Gobi Desert is one of the biggest deserts in the world. Sitting on the borders of China and Mongolia, the desert is historically important since it houses many important cities along the ancient Silk Road. What's more, it's a rain-shadow desert, which means that it's been forced to turn into a desert since the mountains around block all plant-growing, rainy climates. Despite being a desert, the Gobi isn't inhospitable and is famed for rare fauna such as Bactrian camels, snow leopards, Gobi ibexes and bears, and the black-tailed gazelle. Among flora, the commonest plant is the sexol tree, which retains moisture within the bark and is present throughout the desert. Number 4. The Arabian Desert. The Arabian Desert is one of the most fascinating and mesmerizing deserts in the world. The largest desert in Asia, it lies in the Arabian Peninsula and measures more than 1 million square miles in area. What's more, it's one of the world's largest continuous bodies of sand, complete with picture-perfect sand dunes. In fact, it's called the Arab al-Khali, or the empty quarter. The desert lies majorly in Saudi Arabia but also extends into northeastern Yemen, western Oman, most of the Abu Dhabi Emirate, central Qatar, southern Jordan, and Iraq. Although it has a generally hostile environment, the Arabian Desert does have species such as the red fox, caracal, striped hyena, Nubian ibex, sand gazelles, and the Arabian wolves and camels. Plus, it's also the perfect environment for reptiles such as geckos, snakes, and lizards. Number 3. Sahara Desert. There's no doubt that the Sahara Desert is the most famous desert in the world. What's more, it's one of the biggest deserts in the world and also the world's largest hot desert. Moreover, the desert extends across 12 countries, comprising most of North Africa. Think Tunisia, Sudan, Western Sahara, Niger, Morocco, Mauritania, Mali, Libya, Egypt, Chad, and Algeria. The Sahara is a subtropical desert, but it actually alternates between being a desert and a savanna grassland every 20,000 years. In fact, in 15,000 years, the Sahara could very well be a grassland. The Sahara is also home to some of the world's most captivating sand dunes and one of the world's most stunning salt flats. Measuring more than 3.6 million square miles, the desert is famously home to camels. What's more, it also houses the African wild dog, red-necked ostrich, addax antelope, Docker's gazelle, phoenix fox, and cheetah. Number 2. Arctic Polar Desert. Measuring a whopping 5.4 million square miles, the Arctic Polar Desert is one of the world's only 2 polar deserts. The Arctic Desert is all about ice sheets, lack of rainfall, and cold temperatures and is one hostile environment for animals and plants. Despite that, it's home to diverse fauna such as the moose, snowy owl, caribou, polar bear, Arctic wolf, and the Arctic fox. In fact, some animals even migrate between the Arctic Desert and tundra, which has more vegetation. This desert stretches 1,000 km from north to south and 2,000 km from east to west. Finally, it covers many island groups of the north coast of Russia and Norway while also stretching to Finland, Sweden, Greenland, Iceland, and Canada. Number 1. Antarctic Desert. The white expanse that is the Antarctic Desert is the biggest desert in the world. Measuring more than 5.5 million square miles, the Antarctic covers the entire continent, making it unlike other global deserts. In fact, a whopping 98% of the desert is permanently covered by a sheet of ice. Most parts of the desert receive less than 10 mm of rainfall annually, with certain remote inland parts having not seen rain for the last 14 million years. The arid environs of this southern desert combine with its extremely high wind speeds that tend to form hypersaline lakes. What's more, the Antarctic Desert has seen many expeditions, the most famous of them all being the famed 1911 Roald Amundsen expedition that had humans reaching the South Pole for the first time.